Good morning, y'all. You clicked on one of my lives from Kick. Enjoy. Let's get into it. Okay, so I wanted to watch a Christine Grace video. I enjoy Christine Grace's content. Um, so I don't know. I just picked one. Women learn the hard way why they can't be picky anymore. This will be an interesting one. Oh, Christine Grace Smith. If you guys don't know who she is, there's her name right there. You should go check her out. Go ahead and leave her a like. Pretty awesome. Pretty down to earth. Yeah, not bad. All right, let's get into this.
Hey, it's Christine Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another reaction video. Today I'm reacting to another video from Akkad Daily, sent in by one of you lovely people, so thank you so much for that. And it seems to be about the topic of aging millennial girl bosses are getting desperate. I'm not really shocked.
This will be a fun video. How long is this video? Oh, this is going to be a long one.
Like the video on your way in, let's get straight into it.
In the next few years, you're going to see many articles like this, which is a revelation and a kind of understanding and coming to terms with the phenomenon of the aging millennial girl boss American left-wing woman and the fact that she can't find a husband, despite the fact she does actually want one. Because you can propagandize people in all sorts of ways, and you can tell them, actually, it is good to be X, Y, or Z, and they can come to believe it. But in fact, people are designed to live in certain ways, and so you have longings implanted in you by nature. You have things that you desire, and so you may be living this perfect liberal life, but you still don't feel like you have it all. You still don't feel like you have actually what you want, and you are looking for something even then. And
it's so true, and I feel like that is applicable to everything in today's society. No one actually knows what they want, and despite the fact that we have so much, nothing's ever enough. Nothing's ever enough, you know? I mean, just look at Apple, iPhone. I mean, you know, they're great and all, but they stop working after a few years. You have to replace them and get a new one. And I feel like that's how people are feeling now about each other. Everyone is replaceable. And speaking of things that you wish you didn't have to replace all the time, today's video is sponsored by Ants & Buckle and Belt. It's a family-run brand, and it's reinventing how belt...
All right, y'all. Pay attention. I mean, it's not my sponsor. It's her sponsor. But, hey, Anson Belt and Buckle
should fit. So they basically use a micro adjustable track system with no holes, which means that your belt fits perfectly every single time. And their box sets let you mix and match 3 buckles, 3 straps into 9 belt combos. The quality is next level, and they offer a lifetime guarantee on functionality of their products. So there you have it. If you want something that you don't have to replace all the time, you don't want to have to be buying a belt every, year, 2 years, 5 years, you want something that lasts for life, and you can design into multiple different products. Anson Buckle and Belt is definitely the way to go. Click the link in my bio or go to this link to build your own 3 buckles, 3 straps, which is 9.
Guys, there's the QR code. Support your girl.
Unique belt combinations. You're essentially getting 2 pieces completely free, so don't miss it and upgrade your belt game with Anson today. Back to the video.
so this is why this article is possible. This is why The Guardian is able to interview. And they claim they interviewed hundreds of women for this article, which is remarkable. Like a really large number, all things considered. But anyway, they say by 2030, 45% of prime working age women in the US defined as women between 25 and 44, will be single according to Census Bureau historical data and Morgan Stanley forecasts. Hundreds of those women from across the US shared with The Guardian why they were single and how they felt about it, and what they would be looking for in a future partner if they were still in the market for one. So you have Sarah, 43.
You're in your 40s. Why are you looking for a future partner?
Says, I hated being single after my last relationship broke down. I miss having someone to cook for, to share things with. But now my motto is, my alone feels so good, I'll only have you if your presence is sweeter than my solitude. Well, that's the choice you're going to make, because you're expecting what is essentially a unicorn to walk through the door. Because really, and this is a perennial issue through this article as we go through it, they aren't actually looking for a partner. What they are looking for is kind of an ornament, someone who will, they've got all of their passions and desires satiated, except for the longing to be with someone else, except for the
They're just looking for a toy. Shut up, sit in the corner, use you when I need you. That's what it sounds like to me.
longing for companionship. And yet they they address the idea of companionship as something that can be siloed away and compartmentalized as an aspect of their life that fails to understand actually how you get to that point. Like, the idea that you're alone feels so good, so you want to add someone to that because you don't want to lose that. You fail to understand what the nature of a relationship is. Actually, your previous life is gone when you actually want to build a life with someone. That old life is gone. You don't have that anymore. But you have something else, and it's a negotiation and a constant, I don't say work. I don't say project either, because it's not really, it's not really summarizing it correctly, but it's a,
If you're listening close, you can hear his kiddo in the background. That's awesome.
a constant process of development together until you realize
The two of you become one unit. And, you know, it's not, oh, this is my life and you're just going to attach nicely onto it. Because no, why does everything revolve around you? You two now become combined the center. And, you know, you make everything else work for what works for you two as a unit, not you as an individual. He's absolutely right. She's completely, this particular woman, and I feel probably many women like her, have completely missed the point of what a relationship.
Well, I mean, I can agree with her. I think you do need to keep some individuality in your relationship. I mean, if everything you do depends on what your partner does, you're not going to be happy and you're going to start resenting each other. If you guys have some semblance of, what's the word? Some semblance of, I guess, self-sustainability. Like, if you have your own hobbies, great. If if you have friends, great. I mean, obviously be respectful. Like, hey, the guys are going out. Is it cool if I go? Hey, if she don't want you to go, or she does the, I'd really like to stay in tonight. Screw it, stay in, whatever. The guys will be there. There's gonna be times where your old lady's gonna be like, yeah, just go, get. It's like, all right, we'll see you later. But yeah.
It is a relationship is to be vulnerable, and part of that vulnerability is the ability to give up your own selfish, for lack of a better term, comforts. It's to say, you should be in a point where you don't hate your life when you get into a relationship. You might be. I know the world isn't fair, but generally for a healthy relationship, if you're wanting a relationship because your current life is so bad that you need a distraction from it, that's almost just as bad as this. You should usually be in a place where you're okay with your own company and you're okay with everything that's going on, but you'd like to share a life with someone. And then you join together. You don't keep your thing going and add someone else into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I get you.
is that actually being away from it is worse than being with it.
Literally.
Right? The idea of being away from it is like losing a part of yourself because it has grown around your soul into the thing that you are on a day-to-day basis.
He's absolutely right. And the sad part is that I don't think this is just a women problem. I think this is a humanity problem right now. We have become, through the process of being so connected via social media and this, that, or the other, we've become so disconnected from one another that even men, because of feminism and, current women's behavior, they would rather just be alone because it's more peaceful than having a woman around. And clearly women are saying that this is how they feel too. They don't really. They obviously want a relationship. They're just coping themselves into thinking that. But, it's a human problem right now. I don't even think it's just one sex or the other, because at the end of the day, everyone now seems to prefer being alone than being with someone else because of the risk involved with being someone else. It's just everyone said, hey, the whole thing is just too risky. And that's because it is too risky, because the stakes are just awful right now.
And I hate to say it, but being in a relationship, it's a job. I mean, you got to work at it. That's why they call it working at a relationship. It's a job. I mean, you got to be there for your partner. You got to be there if you have kids. But people these days are lazy. Like Christine said, they want that instant gratification. You're not going to get instant gratification in an actual relationship. You have to work at it. And not just you, your partner. You guys have to work together at your job to make a sustainable relationship.
And, if especially if you're a dude in the modern dating market, it's like, why would I risk getting into a relationship that could take me for everything I have and completely ruin my life? For women, I feel like it's the same problem that it's always been. It's just been amplified, which is
That's that right there. That's a cope. Okay. Why would I get into a relationship if this woman's just gonna take all my money? Well, that's why you don't jump on the first woman that frickin' bats an eyelash at you. Be friends. Talk to people. You don't have to just instantly go like, oh hey, you're hot. You want to get married? Oh yeah, here's half my shit. Bye. How's that make any sense? Hang out, enjoy. I mean, just learn who the person is before you get into a relationship with them. It's not that hard. You'll find out pretty quick if they're a psycho, if they're going to take your money. I mean, that's the guy's perspective, or for the guy's perspective, I guess.
some women are terrified of getting into a relationship because it means they have to give someone the ability to hurt them. And I think where we've seen the progression of feminism, we've seen women get more and more power hungry. And what's power? Power is you controlling everything about your life. If you're allowing someone else into your life in a relationship, and a genuine relationship, not one like this, where, naturally you have to be able to give someone the power to hurt you. Women don't want to do that. Women are power hungry as shit in 2025. Women don't want to be able to tell someone their deepest, darkest secrets and, be vulnerable with someone. They don't want to give someone the ability to hurt them. And, just in the same way, for men, I don't think it's that emotional, but part of it will be, for sure. Why would men want to trust a woman with, their insecurities when that woman's likely going to go in a girl's group chat and make fun of it? Like, we've just been...
Men have emotions. We are taught not to show them. We are expected not to show them. It does hurt. It like women wear their feelings on their sleeves. So like as she's saying, like women are like, oh, blah blah blah. But men get hurt too. We just don't show it. We will let our feelings go in a private setting, generally by ourselves. sitting in front of our drum set and our Mustang. I mean, it's just that's where we let our feelings out. Okay.
So horrible to each other for so long that now it kind of logically makes sense not to engage with someone else. I don't like that. I don't think that that is the way forward. I think that only ends badly, and I wish it wasn't like that. But the truth is that it is like that, and that is the reality that we live in. You know, and it would be terrible advice to say, well, just give it a shot anyway. I wish I could say that. I wish I was one of these commentators that could just say, well, you know, just be brave and keep going, because it's like, if you know that there is fire in front of you, you've got two people stood behind you, one of them saying, just run into the fire. There might be water or a fire extinguisher at the other side, but just run into the fire and come on, get a grip. Get a grip. I know there's fire, but there is a good chance that there will be a fire extinguisher just past the fire. What? Then you've got the other person saying, there's a fire. Fire burns people. Fire could unalive you. Maybe don't run into it. So
Okay, so let me go ahead and add to her fire analogy. So she's saying like people people see another person that they find as attractive, right? And they're like, there's a lot of issues with this person, hence the fire. If you go through that person or you start a relationship with that person and the fire's going to burn you when you're looking for the fire extinguisher to put that fire out, right? And then basically she's saying that, you know, people are standing off and they're like, "Ooh, I don't want to get anywhere near that. The fire's going to burn, blah blah blah." You know, eventually the fire might put itself out. Again, like I said, you don't have to jump into a relationship with these people. You can be friends with them. People do change. So, I mean, that fire could keep raging and burn an entire forest down, or that fire could smolder out and you know, grow into new life. You never know. But again, if you see fire, if you smell smoke, don't run into it.
essentially, you know, your options seem to be either run into the fire and definitely get hurt and risk not existing, right? Or stay here and eventually you'll stop existing anyway, right? That kind of seems like what the options are today. I hope you're following my quite complex metaphor. But that's what it
Or you just jump into the dirty mechanic philosophy of life and say screw it, jump head first in and see where it goes. I haven't made a I obviously I'm not a very rich man. I've done a lot of fun stuff in my life. I've been all over this country. I've gotten to do many jobs. Um, kind of a vagabond for many years, but you know, when it's time to settle down, it's time to settle down. I mean, I guess I could say that I was probably that fire at one point.
is today. And I'm not going to be one of these people that tells you to run into the fire. I'm not going to do it. But what I am going to do is I'm not going to tell you to completely stay put. If you want to stay put, that is your prerogative. I'm saying don't go into the fire empty-handed. I think that if you want to try and go into the fire, go in prepared. Wear like a fireman suit, right? Have everything you can to be prepared, but don't just go running into it so far that you can't see your way back out. Make sure you can always see your way back out and go in as much as you feel comfortable with. And when it's too hot, feel free to come out, right? But no, I'm never going to be one of these people that says, I can see the reality of the situation and modern dating is bad, but just give it a go anyway. Get married, have kids, just do it anyway, because it's not that simple. It's not an accurate representation of reality. As I said prior, I hope my complex metaphor.
Again, I'm old. I have no idea what the dating game looks like these days. Um, been with my old lady for 15 years now, and I the world's changed so much. I mean, I'm not even going to pretend to understand what you young folks. I hate that word, folks. Hey, folks. You young folks out there, I don't even, I can't even understand it. I don't even pretend.
Makes sense. If it doesn't, just tell me to shut up. just, I find it easy to
Christine, you're rambling a little bit.
compliment. I find it easy to articulate what it is I'm trying to say through metaphors, but I understand that not everyone thinks like that. So if what I just said makes zero sense,
I like your metaphors. You're rambling a little bit.
feel free to grill me in the comments.
But you've done the opposite. You've found yourself a beautiful ivory tower, and you've got all sorts of provisos on whether someone could join you in that. And the answer is probably not. You probably won't find anyone like that. But anyway, they say many of the responses are surprisingly similar. The most frequently listed qualities women said they were looking for in a partner were kindness and emotional intelligence, mental and physical health, shared values, ambition and being hardworking, financial stability, masculinity and maturity, and a willingness to commit to an equal monogamous relationship.
But yet, as soon as they get any of those things, it's not right. Oh, we want someone who's masculine, but then they get a masculine guy and they call him, what was the latest thing? Red pill bro. Toxic masculine man, right? They get a guy who's
You mean a real man?
so kind and emotionally intelligent, and it's
Kind and emotionally intelligent. He sounds gay to me.
he's a bit too soft for me. He's you know,
He probably is soft for you. Oh, I'm going to hell.
like I don't know, your typical like soy boy character. And it's like, okay, they get someone who is working extremely hard, but maybe the paycheck doesn't match theirs because it's a different kind of job. Like, women don't know what they want. They don't know what they want.
As well, in many cases, having a family. So you can see here the leftism and how it's imposed upon the biological desires of women, as animals. The monogamous relationship and having a family is something that, and remember, these are all left-wing women as well. Outside of left-wing circles, these are very easy for women to find, actually. Loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of women have monogamous relationships and families, but the willingness to commit as an equal, oh, well, that's not really what I was after. I was after a wife, which I wouldn't say is equal to a husband. I'm not saying it's inferior. I'm saying it's different. It's qualitatively different in a way that you don't, I don't measure superiority or inferiority with my wife. I have a role. She has a role. And together we fulfill the function of a family.
Exactly.
So it's one of those things where it's like, look, if you're going to put an ideological value on the thing, well, then suddenly I can
That's what I was saying earlier. You guys got to work together. It's a job.
measure that, right? If I don't feel like I'm an equal, then why would I do that? I mean, my wife doesn't work. I pay for everything. And so am I going to be like, well, you're not contributing as an equal? Or am I going to understand that there are things that are beyond monetary value that she contributes? Like this is
Yeah, I mean, when our kids were little, my wife didn't work. I worked. I went out, made money, and she stayed home and took care of the kids. She raised the children. She made sure that they were fed. If they needed clothes, she asked me. I would more than happy give her whatever she needed. Me, I just out working, eating Hot Pockets.
a very common and I think very mistaken way of looking at these things. One of the phrases respondents used the most was that they were looking for a partner capable of adding to or enhancing their life, as in someone who is entirely self-sufficient and capable of adding romance, children, or a unique intellectual connection to their lives. A large number of women complained about past suitors who had been lacking effort or unable to keep up. And isn't that fascinating? Yeah, I'd like a husband. I'd like to start a family. It's like, but I don't want to give up my life as a single girl boss career woman. It's like, then you don't want a husband and a family. No. You don't understand. These things are not compatible. You will not be the single girl boss career woman who has got her entire life properly arranged, neatly laid out as she likes, and just add these things to it just to make it complete, just to make it so that that deepest part of your soul that is longing for the authentic human experience of a woman, you can't just add that. You can't just insert that into this perfect modern life that you've created for yourself. So you're not going to get it. And loads of these women are just...
No, and then a lot of them, they want to have a full-time career. They want to be a CEO of a company. They want to work 70 hours a week, and I'm going to make, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and then they're like, I need a man. I don't know, maybe have a kid. But what are they going to do? They're going to be gone all the time. I mean, the man's, if he's lucky, if you're a man out there and you find yourself one of them, you get to stay home. You get to raise the kids. That sounds like fun. I mean, it's work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you're trying to keep other living beings alive, but in the same sense, you get to stay home, you get to enjoy your kids, but you have these women out here that are like, "Oh, I want a family, I want this," and then they're not there, so they don't want a family. They just want to focus on, "Oh, this is my next step. Where's my next step?" You know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of this on the internet. I spend way too much time on the internet.
Just like, well, I just can't find it. We'll get through some examples. Babette is a beautician from New York City, echoed hundreds of other respondents across ages and socioeconomic backgrounds. I would love to have a partner, but it seems like men are super low effort. Well, why do they need to be high effort? I mean, they can find... Apparently, there are lots of women available. They don't respond on dating apps, but I'm not happy with the quality of the men, is what she's saying. A lot of men seem to actively make life worse for women instead of better. Well, again... You are not prepared to...
Quit looking for somebody. Somebody will come along that compliments you. Quit trying to go on these dating apps. Quit trying to force a connection. Somebody will come along that compliments you. Sometimes they're not the most handsome, the most beautiful. Sometimes they're not the richest person in the world. But somebody will come along in your life that will fulfill any emptiness that you have. It'll happen. Just stop looking. Stop having these high standards.
Leave your life and commit to a new life with someone else. You think you can just graft on a husband to the existing life that you have, but that puts him in an inferior position, frankly, and you're looking for at least an equal, if not a superior.
I think that is just, what he's talking about is just an indicator of a good relationship. All political, socio-economic factors aside, I think a clear indicator of a healthy relationship and something you should look for that's always a green flag is, am I and this person willing to give up my current state of life and abandon it to form a new one? That doesn't mean abandoning your morals and values or anything like that, or your family, friends, anything like that. But just my life as an individual. Am I willing to abandon my life as an individual to merge with someone else to build a life together? And I think that's what you need in a partner. And anyone that's showing signs of, but I like things this way, it's just a red flag. I don't know if you saw on my channel, but recently I interviewed a guy named Billy who was on a dating show, and I commented that one of the things in his relationship that I thought was why it fizzled was that basically he lived a very regimented life because he was in the army, so therefore he was required to, and that meant a fairly strict diet, and she wasn't willing to do that herself. But not only was she not willing to adjust to that herself, she also tried to insist that the household be kind of run her way. and in terms of food. And I think that is just an indication of if there's like no room for compromise, that's usually a red flag in any situation. If there's no room for compromise, unless obviously it's something that is a boundary for you in terms of morals and values and whatnot. A relationship is all about compromise, and you need to be able to abandon your life as an individual in order to become a unit with someone else.
Agreed. But again, find somebody that compliments you. Like she just said, this guy that has a military background, he's very, very strict on his routine. You got to find somebody with that same mindset.
I think that is the most important thing in a relationship above all else.
Which they'll explain to us later on in this article. And so no wonder you're not finding men of any substantive quality. The only kind of men who would want to be grafted onto the life of a successful woman are fucking losers. You've put yourself in the position of being the husband, and so you're like, okay, well, why can't I find any good men who want to be wives? It's like, well, because good men tend not to want to be wives. Anyway, Kelly from Georgia says, I wish I could have met my person before the stupid gender wars, social media and red pill rhetoric has ruined people's view of dating and marriage.
I don't like it that men have started sticking up for themselves and having standards.
Scores of women said that nobody available they'd encountered met what they considered basic requirements. Okay, well, let's have a look at these basic requirements. Bear in mind, you're in your 40s. I'm looking for a man who has goals and ambition, is intelligent, trustworthy, a provider, supportive, considerate, kind, assertive, masculine, honest, faithful, intentional, has a healthy self-esteem. And
You know where that guy's at? He's married because a woman snatched him up in his early 20s. Boom.
Let's break it down. I'm looking for a man who has goals and ambition. She's in her 40s. Goals and ambition. What are you talking about? Okay, fine. Is intelligent, trustworthy. Why do they need to be intelligent? You remember that graph that we saw? I think it was Home Maths channel, where it showed intelligence spread across men and women. On average, it's not a major difference. It's not a major difference at all. But on average, in the middle, women's IQ tends to be slightly higher than men's. So for this woman to say, I want someone intelligent, she means more intelligent than herself because women are hypergamous. So she's already cutting it down to this end of the graph. Bearing in mind, she's in her 40s, right? Okay, moving on. Trustworthy, fine. A provider, fine. But are you a boss babe?
Yeah.
Supportive.
If she has money, why does he have to have money? I mean, there's plenty of great guys out there that work jobs that, they'll make $50,000-$60,000 a year. And then you have all these women out here that are like, I won't look at him unless he makes $150 to $5 million. You're in your 40s. Take what you can get.
A good one. Trustworthy, supportive, fine. Considerate, fine. Kind, fine. Assertive, masculine. But you don't want that. Because when you get that, you realize that those men have standards and boundaries and they won't let you jerk them around. He's abusive. It doesn't make any sense. Honest, fine. Faithful, yeah, obviously. Intentional. What does that even mean? Intentional. What does that mean? What does that mean? Intentional. What does that mean? I don't understand. Has a healthy self-esteem, fine. A sense of humor, fine. Loves to go out. What do you mean? Loves to go out drinking all the time? Red flag, in my humble opinion. Likes fitness, fine. Because, those end two kind of contradict. If she means loves to go out drinking, but likes fitness, how does
Right.
The math doesn't math. These basic
I ain't no math magician over here.
qualities are hard to find these days. Okay, so they would be basic if you actually understood them, but you don't, likely.
Sense of humour, loves to go out, likes fitness. These basic qualities are hard to find these days. Well, you say these are basic qualities, but this is a very, and I hate to say high value, but this is someone who has many options, right? And if he has many...
My point precisely.
A guy like that isn't going to go after a grumpy 40-year-old. A guy like that's going to find somebody that's in their late 20s, early 30s. I said it.
Options. Why would he want a 43-year-old woman? I mean, that's not a young lady anymore. She's coming to the very end of possibly being able to have children.
I would say she's past it.
Why would he go for you? And so, really, you can say, I'm looking for this. It's like, sure, I'm looking for... Well, I'm not, obviously, but if I were made
He's like, don't clip me up.
single tomorrow through whatever fate, I'd be like, yeah, I'm looking for Sydney Sweeney, and I expect her to turn up. And these are basic qualities, being actually, blonde babe or whatever. And it's like, these are not basic qualities. You are looking for a very hard to find person. And you don't seem to have considered that actually by the time you get to your 40s, you've got some baggage. You've got like things about you that are perhaps not great habits, or that you have a history. These basic qualities are basically just a wish list. And so they say, although many women found being single lonely, they typically said they would not consider anyone who did not tick these or similar boxes. So again, they think of themselves as being...
If you care more about the boxes than you do about the person, you're probably not going to find that person, because everything
If you have a checklist, you're not ready for a relationship. There you go, Christine.
in life is about compromise. Like, of course, if you're a certain type of person, whether it be man or woman, and you're at the top of the spectrum, of course you're going to have more choices, right? I said this to friends in my personal life. Like, if you are struggling in dating and you have a bunch of boxes, review those boxes and see which ones are the most important. Because chances are, people aren't perfect. No one's ever going to tick every single box. And at the end of the day, if you care more about the box than you do about what kind of person you might end up meeting, then that says more about you than it does anyone else. Because you care more about boxes. You care more about, box ticking than you do another human being. So, for example, just to give you guys an example of what I mean. So let's say that you want a guy, you're a girl, and you want a guy who is over 6 foot, right? He makes above average wage in the UK, which I think is about 30 grand. So anything 30 and upwards is considered higher than average. So you want a higher than average earning man. So he makes plus 30 grand a year. He's over 6 foot, and what other superficial preferences you have. My point is that let's just stick with those two for a minute. If you are too worried about every single box, chances are finding that person is going to take you a long time. And if you're already at a certain point in your life, that is not a smart way to do it. So what I would say is see which box is most important for you. And if you've got other things on there, like, someone who is kind, someone who, doesn't use foul language, or someone who is a provider, because giving that you're not a boss babe and that's what you want, or someone who is supportive, trustworthy, right? All of those things. You might meet someone
The jump cuts get me every time.
who makes the 30k plus a year, is supportive, kind, what are the other ones? Has a healthy self-esteem, likes fitness, has a good sense of humor, but they're not over 6 foot. But because of that one small thing, you're going to go, nope, I'm sorry, but you are down to your own demise. You really are. And that's not looking at humanity. In the same way, you might have someone who is over 6 foot, makes the 30 grand a year, has ambition, is trustworthy, supportive, but maybe their self-esteem is a bit up and down because they've had some bad experiences in the past. Like, are you going to then say, no, this person isn't at their peak right now and they're not at their perfect, so it's not for me? Like, what? I'm sorry, no relationship is going to work for you like that, because people don't stay the same. People fluctuate. We're ever-changing beings and no one is perfect all the time. So you should be looking at the qualities that indicate to you the kind of resilience that a person has and the kind of drive that someone has to try and be their best version of themselves all the time. And these can be hard things to identify for sure, but, the typical boxes that we hear from women today, I think, if you care more about having every single one of those boxes ticked rather than, just meeting the person as an individual and seeing what they show you. Because at the end of the day, if you've got all these boxes, right, and you're looking at this list of requirements, you're always going to hold the person in front of you to that list, right? Whereas if you just meet everyone as an individual, point out so any red flags if there are, move on. But generally, most people you meet are quite normal. And if you can meet someone, on an individual basis and through communicating and talking to them, be able to identify what boxes they do have, then assess the situation and say, am I happy? Do I have, happy is the wrong kind of word to use with women, but, is this working? Is this working? Is it functioning? Is it, rolling over, so to speak? And if it is, then I'm sorry, respectfully, F your boxes. F them. People are individuals, not boxes.
Very high value. And they probably are to single women. These women who have made their careers, they've bought their houses, they're very well situated in life, are very attractive to women if they were to be husbands. But they themselves are fulfilling the role of the husband and therefore are not able to find a wife. Katie is a biotechnology product manager from Wisconsin. Why? What's the point of you being a biotechnology product manager? A partner should ideally have a robust social life, a focus on holistic health, compassion and forthright communication skills, and functional independence. What do you mean, functional independence? Like, this is crazy. Like, just to be clear, I am not independent of my wife. My wife is not independent of me. We are a family. We have kids. We have people who are dependent on us. Like, the idea that you can be like, yeah, I'm looking for someone with functional independence. So then you're not looking for a relationship. You don't know what you're asking for, and you don't know what it is that you don't know why you're not finding it, right? This is mental. This is nonsense. And again, it kind of sounds, I'm looking for someone with a robust social life, focused on holistic health. This sounds like the sort of thing a teenager would say, or someone in their 20s would say. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not someone who wants to actually settle down and become the partner of someone else. And again, like, this is just a list of a wish list, right? These wish lists are another interesting thing, because what you're doing is essentially commodifying the people that you are looking to date. And so you're not thinking of that person.
He just so simply explained what I was just trying to get at. Yeah, you're commodifying the people that you're trying to date. Oh, thank you.
See? Perfect example, Christine. Just keep it simple. KISS method. KISS method.
As the kind of unique named individual that they are, the person that you would, for whatever reason.
That's just women down to a T, isn't it? That's quite hilarious. That's quite hilarious. So this is what just happened, right? Oh, so you got point A to point B, right? And I basically went like this.
Uh-oh, what's she
Oh
writing
no,
down?
my pen stopped working.
Oh no, what's she writing down?
That they are, the person that you would, for whatever reason.
That's just women.
Uh-oh. Drawing a diagram.
Oh no, my pen stopped working. Oh my gosh, forgive my awful handwriting. He just went.
Yep.
Oh, that's quite funny. That's quite funny. I really just went on a whole roundabout trying to say that people are commodifying their partner instead of looking at them as an individual. It's so simple, and I made it so complicated.
You find them enchanting, and you can't stop thinking about them. You can't get them out of your mind. And romantically, you can't think romantically about a series of categories. You can't think romantically about things that are enumerated and, again, commodified. Instead of actually thinking about Frank or whatever, Michael, whoever that guy was that turned your head and you had a bit of a flirtatious conversation with. And these women don't seem to have that capacity to romantically link to a particular individual man because he is him, and there's something about him that drives them, that gets in your mind. Like with men, with women, frankly, obviously, men, like, there are just certain women in your life that you'll not be able to forget for some reason, and you don't understand why. You don't have a series of enumerated lists. It's just for some reason she was the one. And these women have no conception of that. And they're like, no, I have a list of requirements to fit into my busy life that I'm looking for. And I don't really care who he is. All I care is that he has these attributes. And it's like, again, that's not how romance works. That's not how love works. That's not how human interactions work. I mean, it might be how a biotechnology product manager works, but that's not how normal human beings are. And she says, I'm happy to compromise on things. The bar is extremely low, and yet it's rarely clear. It's like, well, I don't feel like you're in love with me, Katie. Like, that's the thing.
Right.
I don't feel like you're in love with me, Katie.
I don't feel like you are open to us making a life together.
Yeah, Katie, come on.
And I'm not really happy to be the kind of pet in your life that fulfills certain criteria. That's not what I'm looking for, frankly. They carry on. Hundreds reported struggling to find a partner with shared values, political views and interests, similar education level, with many pointing to a deepening mismatch between men and women in these areas. Well, you're the ones who chose to be the girl bosses. You chose to be the husbands of the family, and, oh no, I can't find my wife. So, well, you have to understand that men, when they are finding their wives, are not looking for people of a similar education level, similar income level, similar experience in various fields of work, whatever. Someone who is basically functionally independent from them as well. That's not what men are looking for, actually. Men are looking for women who honestly will be dependent on them so they can raise their children and so he can feel like a provider. You don't have that impulse. You don't have that drive. What you have is access to a high status job, a good amount of resources, and therefore you're like, right, okay, well, I don't want to give that up, because why would you? I mean, it's risky to give that up. But it also prevents you from fulfilling that deepest, darkest impulse of a woman to be the mother and the wife of a family. And so you're not going to get it. You are literally locked out of it because of the kind of your life you're living. And you're like, yeah, but I can't give up these things. It's like, well, then you'll never get this thing. And this is why this article exists. This is why you're answering these questions. And this is obviously something that bothers you. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Why are we having this conversation? Laura, in her 40s, from San Francisco, said she'd been single for the better part of a decade since her divorce, despite having used many dating apps and having been attended dozens of singles events. There's an imbalance between education levels now in the US. Many men don't want to date someone who's more educated or makes more...
I mean, I don't know if it's more educated, makes more money, but you guys can kind of see right here. If that's her profile picture, I can tell you right now, a lot of guys are going to click off. Ladies, if you're looking for a guy, brush your hair, get rid of the Urkel glasses, maybe put some eyeliner and some lipstick on there. You're going to attract more men. But you're over here looking like freaking the stone goblin from Neverending Story. Guy ain't going to go after you.
money than them.
And I ain't talking about Christine down here. I'm talking about this lady right above her.
Well, why would they? Why would you? Why are you looking for someone who's like a toy boy? Like, many men, of course, would actually like to be the breadwinner. And if women have overthrown men's position as the breadwinner because of a decade of feminism, then who's to blame? I mean, you are part of the problem, right? You're the empowered girl boss, so you're like, wow, I can't find any men who are worth dating. It's like, well, yeah, because they had to go through the ranks, do the things you've done, and arrive with that experience and sort of veterancy in life that allows them to be impressive to you. These sort of men are made. They're not born, and you've usurped them, frankly. And so you're like, okay, well, I just can't find that husband. So, okay, well, that's fine. Your bloodline will die with you. You'll be a very strange aberration in the long continuum of humanity. At some point, someone in the 500 years or something will find this article and be like, wow, really? There were all these women who just totally outcompeted men in the social marketplace, in the economically, educationally, socially, and they couldn't find husbands. I mean, this will be a lesson for women in the future. Don't try and outcompete the men, because you will be lonely at the end of it. And that's all. That's what all of these women are saying. And then you say, well, there's Peter Pan syndrome. A lot of men don't want to grow up. Why would they?
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Like, you've taken
the load. You've taken the hardship of being a man and having to carry everything alone. Why would they then be like, oh, I'll take that, when you're going to be like, no, I've got it? Like, what?
Growing up is what happens when you become the breadwinner, or when people become dependent on you. For men, I'm not saying it's like that for women, but for men, it's when you have dependence, and so you have to become the man, the responsibility, the person bearing the responsibilities. And if you take that away from young men, well, they don't grow into it. So you're just like, well, I can't find any serious men. They're all very childish and irresponsible. Well, there we go.
I'm going to tell you right now. Go to a nursing home, find a 90-year-old man. He's going to be childish. We're men. We are children. Men are children with facial hair. All right?
These are the men you've made. And Jordan Peterson was warning about this years ago. He's like, what kind of men do you want to date? Back in 2017, he was warning about this. And now,
even this extremely well-spoken gentleman on my screen right now that is way smarter than I will ever be. He is a child. He is very mature. But I guarantee you get him in a room with them kiddos I keep hearing in the background, he is going to be the biggest kid in that room. All right? Men can't fool you. I'm telling you right now, we are the biggest children on earth.
now they're like, yeah, well, I just can't find any good men because they're all irresponsible. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Although almost all women who are looking for a partner did not cite standout levels of professional financial success as a priority, financial self-sufficiency was crucial for many. So it's not even that you're looking for a wife then. You're not looking for someone who's going to look after your kids. You're looking for, again, a kind of pen pal or something, right? Someone who's just a roommate with whom you have sex is kind of what you're looking for, which isn't independence. What do you mean independence? How can you be looking for independence when you're in a committed relationship? That is a form of dependence. I keep hearing the word independence from women, online and various other places. I hear the word independence, and I'm just like, what does that mean to you? What do you think you're looking for then? Any relationship that is a romantic relationship involves a certain level of emotional dependence on the other person, right? So the very nature of being in a committed relationship is a lack of independence. That's the first point, is you're not independent of that other person. Whenever you go out, you have a person to whom you have obligations, to whom you have to be you owe some sort of loyalty and concern and consideration towards. You are not independent. So I want you to be financially self-sufficient. It's like, all right, okay, well then why do I need you? I'm not saying that I want a woman to pay for me.
I mean, I can kind of agree with that. It's like, if I am self-sufficient, then why would I need somebody else? And when you're in that mindset, I mean, you can be self-sufficient. You can make all the money in the world. You could have multiple houses. You can have all the vehicles you want. But if you're in the mindset where It's like I'm self-sufficient. I don't need anything. Then why try to be in a relationship? I mean, if I had $1 million, I would still be like, "Yeah, all right, cool. Well, hey, what are you doing?" You know, my old lady. I mean, I'd still need her.
But like, if you expect self-sufficiency, well, okay, I have that, and now I'm playing Xbox and just working my minimum wage job, drinking beers and playing games with the boys. Why do I need to grow up if it's just self-sufficiency for the pair of us? Kelly says, Kelly from Portland says, I'm a self-employed
That's the lady I was talking about right there.
high earner. I'm working on a memoir. God, that's
Again, guys, don't take relationship advice from me. I am retarded. This guy is pretty smart. He knows fancy words and things. And then, Christine down here, this is what she does. So she's
so many people are going to read that, aren't they, Kelly? I own rental property and have struggled with finding someone who's like me, creative and high earning. I don't drink or smoke, and I don't want a partner who does either. Okay, well, I mean, maybe if I was a 48-year-old man in Portland, I'd be more interested in some woman in her 30s who wasn't a high earner and actually needed me around. Like, I'd be more interested in just like someone who didn't have an entire sort of empire of her own, because she's not looking to actually build a new life with me. While most women elaborated on their experience of being single in a social sense, some explained why they were legally single despite wanting to be married to their current partner. Well, we'll skip those ones because basically she's like, my boyfriend doesn't make enough money.
I clicked on the wrong video. This is definitely
You have Christina, a mental health therapist from Chicago, said she had.
Don't get me wrong. This is a good video. This is just not something I'm good at. You know what I mean? I'm just learning.
Withdrawn from active dating after being dumped by someone who did not want to commit. Though she reported feeling overall happy being single, she did have concerns about the ability to have children. Women are freer than ever to make their own lives outside of the confines of romantic relationships, but
Wow, this one here, Crystal Sharp, 39, self-employed art teacher and wedding photographer from Oregon. I'm sure.
biological clock thing weighs heavily on my mind.
Good. Some self-awareness.
Yes, because you're getting towards your mid-30s now, and the baby rabies, your biological clock is saying, look, you are actually running out of time.
Did he just say baby rabies? That's fucking great.
You actually need to get on with this. And so women being freer than ever, okay, great, good for you. Why are you writing articles like this? Why is this something that's weighing on your mind? Because, and this is when you're in your 30s and 40s. Imagine what it's going to be like when you're in your 50s and 60s. And you just look back and go, well, at least I attended all those meetings. At least I was on all those Zoom calls. At least I answered all those emails. And the company functioned very, very well. And now I'm going to get my retirement to sit around and reminisce about all of those Zoom calls. All of those days where I was in the office, click-clacking away on a keyboard. I mean, I really felt like I made a difference. Right? Like, genuinely, like what have you accomplished? What have you actually made in the world? What have you actually contributed to the world? That when you're in your 60s, you can look back and go, wow, that was worth it. You're essentially nothing. Like, there's essentially nothing there. You've got the sort of make work email jobs, and it's like, okay, great. So what? Like, you think that wouldn't have been done if you'd not done it? Like, anyway, this is the whole thing is just like this, and I'll leave it there. But I find it really, really kind of sad because you've got here a 42-year-old who decided that what she was going to do is put up billboards.
It's always
Crazy.
the eyes. Look at the eyes.
Saying, look, I want to get married and have
Look at the eyes.
kids in the next 2-3 years. Well, I mean, how do you know that you're going to be able to at 42? Do you even know? But she took out this ad campaign, and she's got a website, and she's got the non-negotiables listed on her website. Family must be on board with a monogamous relationship with the intent of dating to marriage. Must be all right with the time frame of marriage and starting a family in the next 2 to 3 years. Well, good luck. Education. College educated. Bachelor's degree at a minimum. Why? Like, what difference does it make? Wouldn't it be better if he was some big hunky...
I know a bunch of counterclockwise distributor people out there that have been to college. I wouldn't trust with a paper bag.
guy. But anyway, what do I know? Lifestyle. Generally healthy lifestyle a must. No weed, no tobacco, no psychedelics or recreational drug use, good hygiene. Okay, well, that's not too much to ask for. But politics. Must be Democrat or liberal or left-leaning politically.
She did it for me.
You are getting exactly what you deserve
Yeah.
as the feminist, independent girl boss. And I just find it so funny that you're like, okay, I don't know what else to do. She's spending apparently loads of money on this ad campaign as well, though she hasn't told us how much. But it's just like, that is just...
It's not good, is it? It's not good. Oh.
I don't want to be mean, but like, you made a series of choices in life, and these series of choices come with consequences, right? Every time you're presented with a choice, you can do A or B, the other alternative becomes unavailable to you. And you've made a series of choices in which, look, you've got this perfect life on your own. That was the choice that you made. And you close the door when you go through, when you close door A when you go through door B. And so now you're like, okay, but I'd really like to, find a guy 35, 45 who's never married, no kids, and located in the San Francisco Bay Silicon Valley area. It's like,
Oh my gosh, it hurts. It hurts. It physically hurts.
I bet you would. But it looks like that door is closed, doesn't it? So it looks like that's not going to happen. And this, like, would you marry someone who'd done this?
Oh my gosh, I'm cringing so bad.
Would. I think that's kind of just weird and desperate. And kind of sad, to be honest. Like, the whole thing is actually genuinely quite sad. But this is going to become a plague in left-wing areas of the United States, where women who were raised in a feminist environment, given all of the...
Especially in San Francisco. Good luck, lady.
opportunities, all of the doors to the girl boss career and the ladder climbing that they get to do opened up to them because they were women at the expense of men who otherwise would have...
Am I not mistaken? Is San Francisco where Harvey Milk was from? Harvey? I think his name is Harvey. I don't know.
fulfilled those roles. And now, like, okay, well, I can't find a guy who's my equal and who wants to date and who isn't, like, laden with loads of baggage, and I'm just going to be single forever. It's like, yeah, you basically are going to be single.
Yep. And the thing is that women made this bed. You wanted this. This is what you wanted. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, it sucks to come to that realization, but more of them need to come to the realization and start telling younger women, like, don't make the same mistakes I did. But none of them are doing that. They still clawing their way into the sexual marketplace and saying, me, pick me, even though I'm old, even though I made the wrong choices. It's like, you could just take the L, be a good human being, and make sure that younger people don't make the same mistakes as you do. Right? I mean, that's just my opinion. That's what I would do personally. But hey, I'm not them. Hopefully I won't be either. I'm not them. So I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. And speaking of things that you definitely want, I think you should definitely go check out Anson Belt and Buckle. As I said before, their box sets let you mix 3 buckles, 3 straps, and that basically gives you 9 belt combos. The quality is next level. They offer a lifetime guarantee on functionality, so it's not something you're going to have to replace again and again and again. And obviously you've got variety in it as well. So click the link in my bio and go to the link to build your own box of 3 belts, 3 buckles, 3 straps, which is 9 unique belt combinations. It essentially means that you're getting 2 pieces completely free. Don't miss it. Upgrade your belt game with Anson today. And that's it for today, guys. As always, like the video on your way out if you enjoyed the content, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification.
Okay, that video went a little longer than I wanted, but it was a good one. You know, I listen to Christine while I'm at work. You know, her videos will pop up. She covers some cool topics. Like I said, this is just a women learn the hard way. They can't be picky anymore. Sure. It's interesting. So, you know, Christine Gray Smith, I think she uploads daily, I believe. Christine Gray Smith, go ahead and, you know, throw her a follow. Like her stuff. Hey, y'all. I see you made it to the end of the video. Remember, leave a like, share, comment. Throw me a little bit of a subscribe down at that bottom down there. And just remember, I'm trying to do live streams every night on Kick, so go ahead over to Kick, throw me a follow, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions on something you want me to react to, something you want me to comment on, throw it down in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Kick. I love you all. We'll catch you in the next one.